Chernobyl. The name itself conjures images of disaster, of a world turned upside down. But what really happened that night in April 1986? And why does this place, frozen in time, still hold such a grim fascination? This isn't just a story about a nuclear accident. It's a story about hubris, secrecy, and the terrible price of an unchecked ambition. This is the story of Chernobyl. The fifth Lenin nuclear power station near the small town of Chernobyl was the pride of the Soviet Union. 4 RMBMK reactors, the latest in Soviet technology, promised a bright future powered by the atom. And just 2 miles away, Pripyat, a flourishing community built to serve the plant. But all that was about to change. But on the night of April 25th, 1986, a series of events was set in motion that would reveal dangerous flaws in the technology and the culture that built it. A routine safety test on Reactor 4 was meant to check if the reactor's backup system would kick in during a power outage, but workers, driven by pressure from above, violated safety protocols. They removed almost all the control rods and lost control of the coolant. The core was now a ticking time bomb. Then, at 1:23 a.m., disaster. Power surged uncontrollably through the core. This reactor design flaw meant that pushing the emergency stop button AZ5 actually made the explosion worse. The explosion was colossal, blowing off the reactor's steel and concrete lid, spewing 8 tons of radioactive debris high into the night. The world had never seen anything like that. Official reports claimed only a few deaths in the initial explosion, but the reality was grimmer. Firefighters, unaware of the true danger, rushed to the scene. They fought the blaze bravely, but they had unknowingly entered a radioactive hell. Many would die within weeks from acute radiation sickness. In the midst of the Cold War, the Soviet Union desperately tried to contain the story. Precious hours were lost as officials downplayed the severity of the situation. It took 36 hours before the order came to evacuate Pripyat, leaving its inhabitants with a few possessions and the grim knowledge that they would never return. Airborne radioactivity would be picked up as far away as Sweden. The era of Soviet secrecy was over. The response was a monumental effort. Helicopters dropped sand and boron onto the exposed core to try and extinguish the fire. Then came the human cost. Robots failed, so men stepped in. Liquidators, civilian soldiers and engineers were sent in to clear the debris, receiving massive doses of radiation in the process. A decaying structure would stand for years, as the world tried to find a way to keep the radiation from spreading any further. The international community rallied to build a new safe confinement, a monument to the scale of the disaster. It's expected to last for 100 years, but even then, the zone around the reactor will remain uninhabitable for millennia. The true number of lives lost remains contested, but the impact of Chernobyl goes far beyond statistics. It exposed the dangers of unchecked authority, the importance of transparency, and the fragility of our world. Chernobyl is a story that remains a lesson for all.